Hey guys, this is your girl Young Gifted in Black, and this is a video about how and why I cut my hair. I hadn't cut my hair since my sophomore year of college, and now that I've graduated, I figured it's time to take some more off. I decided to cut my hair because cutting hair is very healthy for hair, especially getting rid of split ends, which is something dreadheads don't often think about. I wasn't intending on cutting as much as I did. It was kind of an accident. I'm really glad that I went really slow and I watched a lot of videos beforehand. I felt kind of confident about what I was doing. I layered this and I layered this, but I did not layer back here. I just kept that even. I didn't want to lose my length because I did have a lot of length. I worked super hard for this length. A couple things to remember before you cut is you need shears that are just for your hair. Use these shears for anything else but to cut and to trim my locks. Don't use them on paper, craft projects, put in bags. $10 at Sally's Beauty Supply. I also styled mine afterwards and I did a braid out. So I have a lot of hair ties that I use. A spray bottle, everything comes out evenly and it's stretching to its full capacity. You're gonna need a water bottle. You can always cut more, but you can never cut less. So if you're not really sure about what you're doing, go very, very, very slowly. And the good thing about dreads is that eventually when you wash it and restyle it's gonna look completely different anyways. So let's get into it. I like it a lot. It's a lot lighter than what I had and it reminds me of how my hair used to be, and I really loved it at this stage where it was just really layery and the edges were really clean. Because I undid some of my dreads, a couple of my edges were super frayed, and then there was also like a lot of mass right here on my head, like in the middle. And I'm gonna show you that in the video. I separated one of my locks because I knew I didn't want to cut it, so I rolled it up. And this is it in a Bantu knot. So I'm just sectioning my hair down the middle, finding my natural middle part. There goes those frayed edges I was talking about. Here I'm trying to separate my bangs just over the arch of my eyebrows and making sure that I have the right line on the crown of my head and also on the left and the right. After that, I separated my side sections by running my fingers down behind my ear and making sure I got that part correct, retracing, and secured it. I did the same thing on the other side, running my finger down till I got behind my ear, retracing it. And there it is, nice and clean. And I secured it with a rubber band. And here I'm working on getting the back into one big section. And I cut this by just placing my hands through my hair to comb it, as it were. I don't actually have a comb, so I use my fingers. So I'm sectioning off the back. And I roll my fingers down to figure out where I wanted the length to end. I'm wetting the first section of the top of my head. This is what I'm going to cut, so combing it all the way up, making sure I have a nice even cut, combing with those fingers over and over again. Probably did that about 6-7 times. You also need to turn to the side to make sure that you're not tilting forward or back. So I keep combing straight up on my head. The only reason this even works is because you're securing it and making sure that the hair is all combed out and even. After that, I brought it to the front and I used my fingers as a guide for each section. Again, cutting an even line across each section. Do not cut sections together. This is so bad. Make sure you do one at a time, because eventually they'll come out uneven and you'll be very confused. So yeah, just cut one section at a time. Don't get too hasty. And this was a great hold for only cutting one section at a time. Watch out for your hands so you don't cut flesh. And mourn lost hair appropriately. So this is me being super excited to see it. Yay! So this is me wetting up, making sure it's wet root to tip. And I'm also making sure that my hair is evenly pulled away from my head. I did this quite a few times. This is the most important step before you cut anything, is to make sure that it's an even distance from your head, and also turn to the side and make sure you're not favoring forward or back any. and I'm securing that with my rubber band. Don't pull too tight because this part kind of hurt, so you don't need to pull out your roots, but make sure that you have everything nice and even. Now, one thing I messed up on was I was cutting from top to bottom, holding that in my hand. See how I'm flattening it? I shouldn't have done that, because then I'm making it an up and down plane instead of a forward and back plane. And I was very careful with it, but I kind of put my hair out of order. Smaller sections should help this also. Make sure that you take your time if you're following this vid, pause it often. So my hair is actually longer than this style would allude to. Remember as you're cutting to wet it from root to tip with your spray bottle, to hold it out and make sure you're not favoring any one direction, either up or down or in front or in back. And then you're gonna secure it. I cut the back by just measuring where I wanted it at the end of my neck and then cutting straight across. I tilted my ponytail up. I had to get in a mirror for that one. I couldn't use my camera. And then I cut straight across. I'll link in the description box some other helpful videos about cutting locks. Take your time and have fun. Bye.